Hola muchachos, ¿qué tal? Buenos días. Aquí tienen el horario para hoy, lunes, el 26 de agosto. A learning target for today is to ask about and answer questions about your age using the numbers 0 through 30 in Spanish. Your warm-up question for today, ¿qué es tu número favorito y por qué? What is your favorite number and why? Now, the why part I don't expect you to answer in Spanish. The favorite number part I do. You're going to begin by saying, mi número favorito es, and then your favorite number. For example, mi número favorito es 8. And then the reason why, my favorite player, football player growing up was Steve Young. He wore the number 8. Jerry Rice, second favorite football player, wore the number 80. And my football number when I played football in high school was 88, a combination of the two. So mi número favorito es 8. And the reason why is because I was, and still am, a big 49ers fan. All right, core repetition is what we're going to do next, taking notes on the numbers 0 through 30 in Spanish. We will do practice exercises 1 and 3, speed dating, and then your assignment for next class we'll get to at the very end of this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at the notes that you're going to do for today. And again, those are on page 12 of the textbook. Pull it up here for you. I know they're a bit long. The numbers 1 through 30. Here on page 12, you have 1 through 10, which you may be familiar with already, having taken Spanish in middle school. And then you have the teens, and then the 20s, all the way up to 30. So I'll pronounce them with you here now as you take down these notes. And again, we're on page 12 of the textbook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oftentimes, Spanish speakers will pronounce the V, as a B, like in bolígrafo. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 y 30. We'll get to 31 to 99 a little bit later in the textbook, but we're going to stop at 30 for now. We're going to do speed dating now by adding, we're not going to do speed dating right now, my apologies. We are going to do practice activity 1, which is saying the number, writing the number in your notebooks rather, that's associated with each of these, and say that number or write that number out in Spanish. Don't write it in its numerical form, like on the left. Write it in its alphabetical form, romanization, like how you see on the right. So for example, number 1, number of hours in a day, that would be 24, which is 24. Number 1 would be 24. Number 2, the number of inches in a foot, 12, in Espanol, 12. And then number 3 we'll do together, number of eggs in a half dozen. Half a dozen is 6, a dozen is 12, half of 12 is 6. Correct answer for number 3 would be 6. Activity 3 you guys are going to write out letter by letter these numbers here for numbers 1 through 10. And you're going to write them out using the Spanish alphabet. So for example, number 1, 23, would be seis. 6 in a half dozen. So that's activity 1. For activity 3, forgive me, I may be repeating a little bit. Number 1, you guys are, for all of these, 1 through 10 rather, you guys are pronouncing, or spelling rather, letter by letter, how these numbers are spelt using the Spanish alphabet. Number 1, 23, would be V, E, I, N, T, I, T, R, E, S. 23. Number 2, 17, would be 17, spelled D, I, E, C, I, S, I, E, T, E. 17. All right, and then the last thing that we're going to do is speed dating, which is practice for your homework tonight, which I'll pull up. Let's pull up by going into modules. And it's a continuation of the conversations that you've been having with a friend or family member at home. Please don't forget, due by tonight at midnight, the alphabet song, the recording of you singing the alphabet in Spanish. If you haven't done that yet and you want to find the song that we've been using to practice, you could go to this page here toward the top of the Para Empezar module. It's titled El Alfabeto en Español. And then you have the video here. The internet's a bit slow today, but you'll see the video pop up here as a backdrop for you to be able to sing that song in Spanish. There it is. That's right here, El Alfabeto en Español. And then there is where you guys are going to submit your recording. Again, this is if you have not done it over the weekend. But by next class, I'd like you to have the conversation, continue the conversation. It could be with a new person or the same person, practicing the greeting, hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, any greeting you'd like in Español. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo, and then your name, and then redirect the question back to your partner. ¿Y tú? Gratitude being expressions of nice to meet you, mucho gusto, igualmente, encantado, encantada, el gusto es mío. Home refers to where you're from. The question, ¿de dónde eres?, that we were practicing last week. ¿De dónde eres? Yo soy de, and then your hometown, home city, home country, home state. And then the new question that you guys are answering is, ¿cuántos años tienes? ¿Cuántos años tienes is asking, how old are you? ¿Cuántos años tienes? And then it's actually at the very top of page 12. And then your response is going to begin with yo tengo. And then in the example here, siete, you're going to replace siete with your age. For example, yo tengo 15 años, to say I'm 15. Or yo tengo 17 años, to say that I'm 17 years old. So for that last part, age, ask the question, ¿cuántos años tienes? Begin with the response, yo tengo, followed by your age, and then años. So you're just going to replace siete with the number of years that you've been on this earth. And then E2, right, to give your partner an opportunity to answer that question. Audio or video recording submitted in Canvas. That is your only homework for next class. And I will see you in the classroom, y'all. Adios.